I'm going to make Metroid Dread so Nintendo doesn't have to. The game releases in 2 weeks, but I'm sure Nintendo will appreciate my help. To make Metroid Dread, we need Samus, Kraid, Dark Samus, and a final Chozo Boss. And it just so happens that someone posted an exact replica Samus model on the internet. So thank you very much. Now we rig it up in Blender. This looks like a fat blob. And after some updates, we have Samus in the game. But she looks kinda silly just sliding around like that. So I gave her a run, jump, dash, and morphball animations. Metroid Dread has a ton of diverse levels and enemies. So I told my brother Chris to make some levels and started making enemies by adding blob. And after coding some movement and hitboxes, we have a cute little harmless enemy. Aww, look at it. Oh god. Okay, so now that the blob has calmed down, we have a working enemy. But now we need a way to defeat the enemy with Samus's blaster. So I made some blaster projectiles similar to the trailer and added Samus's iconic charge shot using Unity's particle system, a great system for making wrong. I used Unity's super cool and tough VFX graph to make blaster go boom. I started to create the rest of the enemies and ran into a major problem. It looks like Nintendo's lawyers have found out I was making all of their games so they don't have to, and now they're coming after me. Over there, get him. Where's Avatar Nick?
Hey, finish those levels you asked for.
Here's Avatar Nick. You are coming with us. While I narrowly escaped Nintendo jail, my brother left me some awesome Metroid levels. He made the levels by going to Nintendo's trailers and borrowing their design. We then used a bunch of assets to make a hangar and spacewalk to lead to the first boss, and a dark, eerie basement to lead to the second boss. I added some final touches with my artistic genius, and whoa, what is that? Is that a mug? For the enemies, we only have this fat blob. So I grabbed a bunch of enemies from past Metroid games, rigged them up in Blender, and threw them in the game. What is this guy doing? Look at this world-class animation right here. So now that we have a bunch of noob enemies, we need to add the scary robot from the trailer. The robot crawls around the level, and if it catches you, the game is over. So I made this 4-legged robot in Blender and used a tutorial by Codir on how to procedurally animate it. The robot looks so vicious and deadly, I'm sure nobody would mistake it for a harmless enemy.
Where'd he go? Oh.
You died. Remember from the trailers, that robot, you just died?
That's it? This little thing?
To defeat all these new enemies, we're going to need power-ups. Power-ups have been around since the beginning of the Metroid series, with the coolest power-ups being the Morph Ball, missiles, and a giant laser beam. I stole the Metroid Dread UI for the health and missiles and made glowing spheres to collect the power-ups. I then threw together an ability system with inheritance, dictionaries, blob, reflection, and of course giant lasers. Whoa. As we all know from the first Metroid game, Samus is a grill, and we all know grills can't shoot giant lasers. So we've now finished all the power-ups in the game, but we're missing something important.
Boss fights.
Every good Metroid game needs some epic boss fights. The trailer shows boss fights with a dark-suited guy, a chained-up Kraid, and some sort of Chozo Emperor. For the dark-suited guy, I decided to take some artistic leeway and added Dark Samus as the first boss. I enabled him to run back and forth around his room, jump to dodge your blaster shots, and shoot a charge shot right back at you. The second boss is the behemoth Kraid. Kraid's chained up in the trailer, so when you fight him, I made bombs drop on you from above. To make Kraid's basement more interesting, I coded the area so that even if you're near Kraid, but not fighting him yet, you will still have to avoid the falling bombs. So he's one of the easier bosses I've made. With Kraid looking menacing, it's time to create the final boss, the Chozo Emperor. To make this boss, I'll need to borrow a Chozo model. But the Chozo are a well-known species in the Metroid series, so I'll just go to the internet and download a... Well, that's no problem, I'll use Google instead and... Alright, so we have a major problem here. There isn't any Chozo Boss model online that looks even remotely good enough for my game. So I have to make it myself in Blender. The armor from the trailer kinda looks like Samus, so I used her as a base, grabbed an old ugly Chozo model, and stitched them together to create the face. After suffering for 2 days modeling the crown and editing textures in Photoshop, we finally got a good looking final boss. But before I add him to the game, I have another huge problem. I need to make the final boss's lair, but my brother was the one creating the levels, and he's a bit busy right now, so I need to bust him out. We'll just go grapple hook onto this building, climb down, bust down these bars with the Samus charge shot, and hey Chris, glad to see you again. My brother finished the Chozo Emperor's lair by creating a series of robotic-looking walls and a narrow bridge to be consistent with the trailer fight. He also made the door to the lair close shut unless you defeated the previous bosses. With the lair complete, I dragged the Chozo Emperor into the game for the final boss fight. I gave him Dark Samus' abilities to start, but he was way too easy to beat. Like all of my previous games, I want the final boss fight to be insanely hard and epic. In the trailer, the Chozo uses some sort of crazy teleport to reach Samus, along with a giant laser that we see at the end. So I gave the Emperor the ability to teleport behind you and also shoot a giant red laser, which I made using Unity's particle system, a great system for making. With the extra abilities added, the final boss was a lot tougher to beat. Maybe a little too tough to beat. But to make the fight truly epic, we need to add music and sound effects. I bought some sci-fi effects because there was no way I could replicate these by myself. Pew, 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 pew! And set sound effects for metal footsteps, jumping, dashing, and the blaster. I finally added some calming space music to the game, and added an epic dystopian space theme for the final boss. With the game complete, let's see if Chris and Carl can beat it.
No, this looks amazing. This is the best looking charge shot animation in any 2D Metroid ever.
Don't get flop. It's dead.
Where'd he go? Oh.
You died. Remember from the trailers, that robot, you just died?
That's it? This little thing?
It's 1/10 of the size! You always fool me at the beginning where it's like super sick graphics, and then when I start playing, I'm like, oh, I want to die.
You can't shoot straight either.
Is that about him not being able to shoot straight?
Nah.
Oh, you're getting hit by that charge blast.
Yeah, I can't dodge it.
Stop, I'm one of you.
He's
Oh,
dead.
there you go, he's dead, he's dead.
Is he gonna win?
Just like the old Metroid games.
Not even close. What the? Wow, this is annoying. Okay.
Chris win. Ooh, and you die.
What is that? Is that Rihanna?
Can Carl win? He's on very little health.
Final boss round 7. Oh, he's 79 health left. Can he do it? Can he do it?
Can Carl do it? Oh my god.
Can he do it? 59 health left.
He's just holding the charge shot so when it teleports in front of you, you might not teleport. Oh my god, you actually might win.
Where is he?
Oh, did you kill him?
I killed him.
2 bars left.
Got 39 health left.
Oh!
That's the first time I played one of the games, and I didn't feel like crying at the end.
If you enjoyed this video, watch me make Breath of the Wild 2 so Nintendo doesn't have to. See ya.